application, which you can find at the Apply Online section of the website. For this presentation, we're going to discuss the Explore Campuses component and give you a sneak peek into the various campuses that are offered through the CSU system. The Explore Campuses tab has various tools available for students to use in researching various CSU campuses that they would be interested in. The first tool, the Matching Assistant, is one of the most useful tools, especially for students who don't necessarily know what the various campuses have to offer, but are interested in a school possibly close to home or in a particular location, or that have specific majors. The Matching Assistant is easily accessible and, like I mentioned, can be used to narrow down particular college searches. Let's say a student at Westview wants to attend a school close to home, so something in Southern California. They don't really have a preference on the particular setting, but let's say, but they can look at rural, small town, large town, small, medium city, or a major city. If they want a school that maybe has an enrollment under 10,000 students, and they want to be able to live on campus, they can put those type of things in, and let's say that they might not necessarily want to attend or to play football, but they really want to get that football college experience and attend football games. They might want to put in that there's that sport available at that campus. You can also look at particular majors that are available at campuses. So for this, we can use this as an example of a search. You click View Matching Campuses. There was nothing that necessarily met all 100% of those criteria. So they'll show you on the left-hand side if how much percentage the campus offered, or those campuses offered based on your search criteria. And then you can look and see what particular areas it did meet. So for instance, CSU Bakersfield met the Southern California area location, that it does have a total enrollment of less than 10,000 students, and that they have housing on campus. They apparently do not have a football team. San Diego State University met all of the criteria except for the total enrollment criteria of being under 10,000 students. CSU Channel Islands met all the requirements except for not having football, and it looks like Humboldt State also met all the criteria except for it is located in Northern California. So students are still, even if their criteria isn't 100% met, they still get to see all the various campuses and which criteria they do meet. And then from this particular place, they can click on the campus and explore a little bit more of that particular campus. Now that we have utilized the Matching Assistant, I'd like to look at the Comparative View, which is also available on the Explore Campuses tab. The Comparative View feature on Explore Campuses allows you to look at all the 23 campuses offered in the CSU system and compare them based on location, the setting, their fees, total estimated cost to live on campus, and their total enrollment. So let's say the enrollment of a campus is important for the student. You click on total enrollment and you're able to sort it, and then you can see it either by sort high to low, or you can sort it by low to high. So we can see here that Cal Maritime has the smallest enrollment with 890 students because it's a specialized program with, I believe, only about 6 majors. And if you look at the most and the highest number of enrollment, it's CSU Fullerton with 36,996. You can also sort it by the setting. So we could sort it by campuses that are in small towns, large towns, all the way to major cities. This just gives you a good snapshot of those particular schools and then allows you to select on the campus to learn more about that particular campus. That now brings us to the campus facts page, which you've seen little snippets of so far. I'm going to walk you through the campus facts page and show you all the different tools through that. The campus facts feature allows you to get more information about all the particular campuses in the CSU system. We can start with San Diego State University. If we click on San Diego State University, we see here their basic information: location, website, phone number, all of those things. We can then scroll down and we can see quick facts. So when was it established, how many students there are in enrollment, the application fee, all of that other information, as well as more contact information. When we go to the top, we can go to the undergraduate application, and it will bring you there specifically. Then you can also look at admissions information and get a better sense of what that particular school has been enrolling for the past few years, possibly. So it tells you when their filing date is, what type of tests they require, what their course requirements are, their A through G requirements, as well as any other academic and non-academic criteria. You can see what their average secondary school GPA is, as well as their average SAT or ACT. And then you can also look at what their first-time freshman enrollment was for, I believe, this past year. Some of the campuses have more information than others. SDSU's is pretty detailed. You can also see any of their information on their academics, the experience there, how many faculty, any of those type of information. So you can get any information that you would need to know about the particular campus, especially in regards to the majors they offer and everything, would be located here. The student life link is also very important, especially for the campuses that you're unable to visit prior to applying. This will help give you a sense for the type of community that you'll be living in, because remember, when you attend college, you're not just going to classes, you will be living in that particular community for 4 years. So you can see here for the campus environment for San Diego State, it's on 300 acres. The population is about 1.3 million students. They do offer on-campus housing, and 63% of their freshmen live on campus. So this would give you a sense of whether or not it is a commuter school or if it is more of a residential campus. You'll also see information about student facilities as well as the different services that San Diego State offer. So they offer counseling service, career placement, remedial learning services, and reading, writing, and math. And then also social activities. So fraternities, sororities, school newspaper, any campus-based organizations that you might be interested in. And then they also have their information about athletics. So if you're interested in either participating in athletics or at least knowing that there is a football or basketball team that you would like to go and watch. And then they also have other information regarding employment and information about after graduation. So for San Diego State, 42% enter the job market in fields related to their major within 6 months of graduation. Now that we have explored various campuses and you know how to do your campus search, let's make sure you're eligible to apply to a CSU campus. In order to apply, you must meet A through G requirements, to include 2 years of a history or social science, 4 years of English, 3 years of math to include Algebra 3-4, Geometry, and Algebra 1-2. They do recommend that you have 4 years, especially in your senior year. 2 years of science to include a life science like biology and 1 physical science like chemistry or physics, but they do recommend you have 3 years. Language other than English, 2 years of the same language, but 3 years recommended. 1 year of fine art, which does need to be the fine art, and 1 year of a college preparatory elective. The college preparatory elective can be satisfied if you have extra years in any of the above required categories. So for instance, if you do have 3 years of science, that third year will count for your G elective. Same goes for math, English, history, or your fine art or foreign language. In addition to meeting the A through G requirements, students must also take the SAT or ACT plus writing and meet the minimum eligibility index score for California residents. If a student has a 3.0 or above based on their A through G GPA, which is 10th and 11th grade A through G courses only, they, regardless of what their SAT or ACT score is, they meet the minimum eligibility index score. If a student has below a 3.0 GPA, they must meet particular SAT or ACT scores to meet the minimum eligibility. Let's go through this a bit more in detail. So for instance, let's say a student has a 2.73 GPA based on their A through G 10th and 11th grade courses only. If they have a 2.73 GPA, we can see here that they would have to have a 15 overall SAT score or a 720 SAT score, which does not include the writing section. It would only include the math and the reading section. So they would need to have a 720 combined. If a student has, let's say, a 2.98, they would need a 10 overall ACT score and a 520 SAT score excluding the writing. Minimum eligibility basically means that a student has, if they have the A through G requirements, and they've taken the SAT and ACT, that if they have met the GPA and SAT or ACT score minimum, that they are eligible to apply to any of the CSU campuses. It does not necessarily mean that they will get into any of the CSU campuses, just that they are eligible. CSU San Marcos is our local California State University school, and by meeting the minimum eligibility index score, local students from the Poway Unified School District and Westview High School including, are guaranteed admission to San Marcos State if they meet the minimum eligibility index score and meet their senior year requirements as well, meaning not receiving any grade that would bring them below their eligibility index score. While this is true for our local CSU campus like San Marcos, it can also be true for some of the other 23 campuses across the state. There are some schools that have, throughout the past few years, even when admissions have become really tough, gotten into or allow students to enter their school based on the minimum eligibility index score. So they've been able to still accept students at the minimum eligibility index. Unfortunately, other schools like San Diego State, CSU Fullerton, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, along with many other campuses, have not been able to accept students at their minimum eligibility index score. These campuses are referred to as impacted campuses, meaning while students may qualify for the campus, they are not immediately accepted because they have only so many spaces for so many applicants that they receive. So they base their eligibility index for some of those campuses is raised higher. The score that's required is raised higher than some of the other campuses in the state. Thank you so much for watching and for your time. I hope you learned a little bit about how to explore CSU campuses and some of information regarding eligibility. Please make sure to attend the CSU Q&A sessions at lunch on Wednesdays throughout the month of September and October until October 29th in B117.